These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording Thursday, September 21st, and we are going to be talking about Malcolm Brogdon because that's what everybody is talking about. Literally, all anybody cares about right now is Malcolm Brogdon because he's supposedly, quote-unquote, pissed at the Celtics. He could be injured. We also don't know because he didn't really make any comments that he didn't get surgery after last offseason when he hurt his...
He hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
Everybody cares about Brogdon except that video we put out saying what Brogdon can do better.
No one cares. People just care if he's going to get traded.
Leave it to me to complain about people not watching stuff. I'll do it every single one. I did in the Baines one.
I'm over it. I'm over it already.
I'll find a way. People
are going to hear it every episode, except I have to hear it back to back to back. Anyways, Malcolm Brogdon, he's supposedly mad at the Celtics. There was a report from, I think it was Adam Himmelsbach, he said they're not considering trading him any more than they're considering trading anybody else on the roster. In my opinion, that's probably a little bit of, no, we don't want to trade him, but I have to imagine the Celtics are at least considering the option. I don't necessarily think they should trade Malcolm Brogdon because it's pretty impossible to get an upgrade from Malcolm Brogdon unless he's being packaged in a trade for a larger star, which I just also don't think is out there. That said, with all the stuff that Brogdon is pissed, you have to think the Celtics are at least keeping it in the back of their mind. Okay, if we do have to trade Brogdon, let's keep an eye out for some potential ideas that could keep us in contention. And ideally, if we have to do it, find some depth at other positions as well. So we're going to be looking at some Malcolm Brogdon trade ideas, mostly from this article. Written by Michael Sayans of Hardwood Houdini. 5 best landing spots for Brogdon if the Celtics trade him. We're going to go over trades that could potentially come about from these teams, and if we have any ideas of our own, we can also discuss those briefly. But starting off with the Chicago Bulls, basically talking about how they don't really have a solidified point guard. They have some okay point guard depth, but none of the guys they have in there is capable of running the offense. They've really been short at the point guard position since Lonzo Ball went down, haven't been able to fill the hole. And if they're truly in on getting a playmaker / scorer / 3-point shooter, which they desperately need because they're terrible at the 3, trading for Malcolm Brogdon could make sense. Now, at the same time, if you look at the breakdowns of salaries for the Bulls, it would have to be like an Alex Caruso and like Kobe White, and Ayo Dosunmu, and Javon Carter, and Patrick Williams. Like, it would have to be 2 of these mid-tier salaries because the Celtics aren't trading for Lonzo Ball. And that is basically a huge dead cap in the Bulls salary books, which cannot be traded unless they want to add stuff onto it. So in this case, if you're the Celtics, you're saying, okay, give us Alex Caruso and give us Ayo Dosunmu, I guess, maybe, and then a pick as well on top of that. But at the same time, stuff coming out of Chicago is they want multiple firsts for Alex Caruso, so they might not be willing to throw him in. And if that's the case, then the best you're looking at for the Celtics is Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu, which probably isn't worth it. So the only way, if I'm the Celtics, that I would consider trading him to the Bulls is if Alex Caruso is in the deal. You also get Kobe White, maybe, or something else, and a pick. And I don't know if the Bulls are going to match that trade.
This is one for me that is more serviceable than probably a lot of the other trades that we're going to talk about.
Only
because
Caruso, though, in my opinion. But
I am wholeheartedly against trading Brogdon for anything other than other guards right now. Because
it needs to be guard in the trade.
You don't need anything else. Would it be nice to have another big guy? I guess. But nobody that you bring in is going to edge Horford, Porzingis, or Rob Williams out of the rotation to play any real minutes. You have a zillion wings off your bench. There's no need to make any move unless you're getting a guard back that you might like better than Brogdon.
Yeah.
Unless Brogdon is rip shit pissed. In this case, you're getting Kobe White, who just signed to stay in Chicago. You're getting Dosunmu, who has 3 years left on his deal. I believe he just signed a mid-level to stay too.
They both re-signed, yeah.
You're getting good longevity out of this, and you're getting more security around Tatum and Brown. Something we talked about in the last pod. If you have those 2 guys locked up, which you assume you will with Tatum this summer, you're going to assume he's going to have to sign that supermax like Brown did. Then as long as you have bodies around them, it really doesn't matter what they're making as long as you have them. Because then you don't have to worry about getting more bodies on the team or making moves and getting handicapped by the CBA. So bringing extra guard depth, fine. fine with this.
Mhm.
I would love the picks.
Yeah, this is the only thing here is this deal couldn't go through till January 15th because Kobe White did just resign. So these guys can't be traded till mid of January, which if it's still a problem, then maybe. I'd personally rather just Alex Caruso. I think we've all talked about, the Celtics are going to lose out the defense of Marcus Smart. Alex Caruso's right there. He's an all defensive first team player.
Yep.
That's right there. And the only way I think it would be fine to get a big is if it's something like this, where you get the main piece of the deal is a guard, and then you also get a big. I'm not saying Drummond is that guy. I don't think Drummond would fit well necessarily on the Celtics. He'd be fine, but this is the type of deal where I'd be okay getting it. Yeah, exactly. But the
Drummond, by the way, was given a shout for first team all clown on the pod.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that in the comments. Next team brought up by Michael Sayans here is the Oklahoma City Thunder, basically saying could help take some of the playmaking and scoring pressure off Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know if they'd be willing to make a trade for it. And when you look at the Thunder's roster, there aren't really a ton of players that you could see them being willing to give up for Malcolm Brogdon. It would probably have to be Oladipo, who's not going to play much this season, if at all, because he's still dealing with an injury. They'd probably ask for Kenrich Williams as well, but you don't really need the wing depth anymore. And past that, like if you're the Thunder, who you giving up for Malcolm Brogdon here? Lou Dort,
Josh Giddey,
no. Jalen Williams, no. Trey Mann, maybe. But
sorry, did you put Victor Oladipo in this trade? I know you're trying to match salary, but absolutely not if I'm the Celtics.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. He's not, you don't know if he's going to play much this season because he's hurt.
He's not playing. I'm pretty sure he's out the whole year.
Yeah, which is what I said when I put him in there, except you were looking at your phone. So, bum. I said that. I said that. But a trade to the Thunder just doesn't make sense. They have solid guard depth already. They just drafted Case and Wallace. And if you're the Celtics, you want actual pieces to help you now. And the Thunder just can't give you that with where they are as a franchise. So I get why the Thunder might want him, but it just doesn't make sense for the Celtics.
New FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube at YouTube TV.
We matched Thunder
We
colors.
got the blue on.
Yeah.
Thunder colors is right. Next team brought up here, the Orlando Magic actually could make some sense if they want to
Rubs
consolidate
hands together. This is why I'm sitting through the first two teams. I'm ready. Give me Fultz back for Brogdon. You've got a little bit more youth in here. I'm all for it. Make it happen. He does only have 1 year left on the deal, though, so you have a little bit more of a risk of, oh, man, we have to find the money to pay this guy. But I'm not sure if you inherit bird rights on this one because he got traded to Orlando on a rookie deal. Then they re-upped, and he's still there.
How that works. Not sure how that works. Sneaky part of this deal that I know doesn't matter to you, but could help the Celtics long term with the CBA. If they did this as a straight up, and maybe they also got back a second or two, they would shed about $5 million, which again doesn't matter. But if you're looking to re-sign Derek White, if you're looking to re-sign these pieces moving forward, it would help you at least stay somewhere out of the tax where you could avoid having to bump your first round pick to the out of the first round, which we do know is a possibility. So intriguing. You'd probably have to re-up Markelle Fultz, obviously, which is a concern, but I don't mind this at all. He'd be a six-man type guy. He can run the offense okay. You lose some shooting, a lot of shooting in this deal, which is the main concern, but it's not the worst if the Magic are interested.
I actually think this might make sense for Orlando too. And if you're a Magic fan and I'm wrong, I'm very sorry. But Orlando feels like a team that is ready to at least be an irritant to a lot of other teams in the Eastern Conference. Paulo had a great rookie year, of course, took home Rookie of the Year. Franz is ready to be an impact player too. He's shown out in this first couple seasons. Then you've got all these other guys. Wendell Carter has been very solid for them, and they've got a million guards. But if you bring in Brogdon, he could probably start for them. You can bring Cole Anthony off the bench where he's probably better suited to play. And the Celtics can get Markelle Fultz back, who's 25 years old, and he's made a nice recovery after being put in a kind of bad situation in Philly as a rookie and the first couple year player. Not that being in Boston is going to be great for confidence when, we're all like, win a championship or bust, but I would like to have him here.
The only other thing here is you're trading a injury prone guy for an injury prone guy, so you're not really helping yourself in that aspect. So
fair trade.
Another thing to note, but yeah. Next
and
team
he went
here.
to Chipotle with Danny that one time.
True that he did. That was before the draft, right? When it was happening. True. Next team, Philadelphia 76ers, talking about uncertain future with James Harden. Philadelphia could have trouble getting into a deal that would make sense for the Celtics involving Brogdon, but if they can, he absolutely makes sense as a bit of a stopgap for the Sixers this season. There are two potential concerns in this trade, at least for the Sixers. One, they are so insistent on trading Harden and not taking on long-term money, even past this season. That's what Brogdon is. He has money past the season, so they might not be willing to do it. And past that, you'd be giving up on, you don't know what's happening with Harden. So if you do get Harden, he can play alongside him, but it is a bit of a question mark. If you're the Celtics and they do cave on accepting long-term money, I know this is something we've discussed. You get D'Anthony Melton, you get Paul Reed. That gives you a backup big man on a pretty nothing contract, who could give you minutes behind Robert Williams, as well as a solid guard in that rotation to fill the gap of Malcolm Brogdon. This trade, doesn't make sense. Sixers
Does Paul
need to
Reed
give up
make
more
more
stuff.
money than? No, he does not. That's the total that I'm
No.
thinking of. I was like, does he make more money per season than Rob? No.
No. $7 million. Furk and Korkmaz would also have to be included in this trade, but that can always be, let's reroute him to a third team. Let's waive him. He's in the last year of his deal. It's not that big of a deal. But this is something that could make sense in the sense of Melton and Paul Reed. I like D'Anthony Melton a lot. I think he's a solid defender. He was a pain in the ass during that Celtics series. He can shoot. And then Paul Reed is about as average of a backup big man as you can get. And behind those three guys, if you want somebody who can just go out there and give you solid minutes, Paul Reed's probably a pretty good option.
Sure.
Yeah. I know you like D'Anthony Melton, so I
think Melton's been nothing but solid since he's come into the league. He was helpful in that Memphis team. He obviously, again, like you said, was a pain in the Philly series. So plays good defense. He's an energy guy. Good to bring off the bench. Don't hate it.
Yeah.
Don't love sending Brogdon to Philly, though.
Yeah, that's the only thing I figured you probably wouldn't be a huge fan of. Fun fact, Paul Reed went to DePaul, played with a former Celtic in college. Do you know who?
Strus.
Yep. Paul Reed, Max Strus, handshake, college teammates. There you go. Next thing. This is the last team they brought up, the San Antonio Spurs. Basically saying uncertainty that surrounds Trey Jones and Devin Vassell. Don't understand that. I feel like
is there uncertainty if they're restricted? You can do whatever you want.
I don't know. I think uncertainty they mean as in, are they part of the future? Are they good enough to be a part of the future? Which I guess makes sense.
Jones?
Yeah, but only a 2-year deal, 10 mil a season, so it's not like he's there for the long haul. I get them wanting to put as much shooting, as much playmaking, and veteran talent around Wembanyama as possible, getting him ready, getting him set to go for the season. That said, if you're the Celtics, what's the trade here? Like, what would they get? Like, the best point guard depth you can get back is what, Devontae Graham and Kem Birch. Thoughts, Sam? Devontae Graham and Kem Birch for
nope. Devontae Graham, who laughed at how much money he makes.
Yep.
If I'm really playing hardball, if I'm the Celtics, I'm doing what I can to get Keldon Johnson. I would probably throw in picks for him because he's only 23. He had a very impressive-ish season last year. He averaged like 20 points a game. Yep. He could be an important piece off the bench if you want to replace the scoring punch that Brogdon brings. Sure, but I also hate the idea of bringing in more wing depth, which they don't really need. So it's kind of a catch-22. But I think he would be a decent option. I don't know how much of a future piece he's going to be for the Spurs, but they did just pay him for 4 years. So what do I know?
It's true. That is true. Are there any other players or teams you can think of that would want Malcolm Brogdon?
No.
/ you think the Celtics could throw around there to go?
I just don't. I really don't think so. Like, being a dick aside, like, I don't really know who else is going to take him. We did like float the idea that the Celtics could get in on a Dame 3-way with throwing him in, getting Hero back. But besides that, nothing really jumps out at me.
I think the Pelicans are a team that could want him for the shooting, but they don't really have any point guards that the Celtics would want. I think the Wizards make sense in the sense that I think Tyus Jones would be a good fit in Boston. I just like his game. I think he'd be fine. And then there's always, the Indiana idea. If you really want to get TJ McConnell, Daniel Tice back and split it up. But at that point, I'd rather the shooting of Malcolm Brogdon. So let us know what you think. Let us know if there are any players you think the Celtics should try to get back for Malcolm Brogdon. Let us know if you think they should even consider a trade in general. I think we're both in the mindset of try to keep him and at very worst, get a guard back, because this whole thing's weird at this point.
We're both in the mindset of please just give us stuff to not talk about trades.
Let us know at what point in these videos you could tell that Sam was miserable. And thank you all for watching, and I'll let Sam take us out.
Thank you very much for listening and watching us through these dark times in September. You can subscribe to the channel for more content as the season rolls on and daily videos. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of them. You can follow us on socials at How About Them C's. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can follow Jack at Jack Simone NBA on Twitter, and you can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.